Hi there. In this video we are going to be unboxing this huge box right in the middle of the living room. It's from Blumfeldt HHG10 Troja DG Firepit for the outside. So why are we unboxing it in the middle of the living room? Well, because it's night and cold outside. Hope that's enough. So, daughter in the background, let's start cutting up the box and see what we have inside and hope this survived shipping. And voila, unboxing finished. This is what we have inside. And this will be really annoying to clean from the living room, but the Xiaomi will do the job. The little robot. I will link it in the description if you want to see that little robot working. So somehow we will get this whole thing out, because I think it's the biggest piece of this kind of protection that I have ever seen on a product, and it's stuck in a corner. Be back in a second. And this is what was under that. It's cold to the touch, so it does feel like concrete or stone or something like that, but this is cast in a way or another, so it's not full on the inside. As you can see from here, hollow insides. That's pretty cool. So overall it's black, presumably painted black, and it has these little droplets of gray and white to make it look like a sort of mosaic, or I'm not sure what's the term in English for stuff like this. But yeah, it 21 point something kilos I think it has, so it's decently heavy. And also the grill itself feels decently heavy, so I will also unpack the grill. Daughter coming with her cartoons. This is more interesting than her cartoons, so that's a good thing. Let's unpack all of this and see what we got. Ta-da-da! As you can see, the edge is about this thick, so about a finger thick. My daughter copying what I just said. And in here, maybe a tiny bit thinner, but still almost a finger thick. So the walls are decent. My daughter already putting stuff on it. Overall, this is the quality, sorry about that, the color of the material. The quality has nothing to do with here. It's actually thicker than on the other side, so we have a bit more material here. This is the original color of whatever this material is. Is it some sort of concrete? It looks like it, but I'm not sure, honestly. And then it's simply spray painted black, although weirdly enough it has some brush marks, so maybe they covered the porosity with something after the initial step. And then again splattered white droplets to make it look nicer. It has some indentations in it, again to make it look like some real concrete or stone. It might be actually real concrete, so yeah, to look more interesting. A flat surface is not as interesting as this with some indentations in it, so I like that. We also have, I think, black droplets. I just noticed, so they are gray, white and black. Nice. And let's put in it the fire pit itself. So this thing, daughter bringing the grill, that's for a bit later. This thing is really thick. Not sure if I can actually show you, but it's quite thick metal. I was expecting it to be much thinner. You can hear it, it's doesn't sound like a thin material. It's not really sure how that term is actually called, when a flat metal is just spun on a lathe, and they use a tool to progressively make this shape into it. So this is not pressed, this is spun and slowly bent into this shape. Maybe that's better for something like this. I'm not sure why they used this method, but for me that's what it looks like, because we have all of these little marks, which from a press I don't think they would appear like that. So this, really happy with it, with the thickness of it and the quality of the paint itself. Couldn't honestly have asked for more. Daughter is happy also. Let's take this away. And now let's put on the grill. We bought this thing because I love sitting by the fire, so primary goal was that. But now that I see how big the grill itself is, honestly, we can actually grill stuff pretty easily on this. So yeah, I always thought that the grill is just it's there, but we'll probably not use it. Looking at it now, it seems to be chromed, so it's chrome plated. It looks nice, it's big, decently sturdy. Yep, it will be used as a grill also. Now let's put on the fire stopper, or the spark stopper, whatever you want to call that. My bad, I think something else needed to be in here first, but having daughters around me, they sometimes take stuff. I think this actually makes sure that you have a bit of room in here. When you put wood, they need a bit of air under them, so not everything gathers right in the middle flat on this. They stay a bit, so they burn better. That's my understanding of something like this. So yeah, hopefully I'm not wrong. Maybe I should read the manual first, but I'm going by feeling here. So in theory this is like this. And I don't think it goes like this on top when you have the grill, honestly. You could potentially put it while it's heating up, for example, but I don't think so. I think its purpose more presumably is like this, when you are just using it to stay around it, get warm and maybe have a drink. And it stops sparks from flying and presumably igniting something. And it's also safety. You cannot drop something by mistake in the fire, because it will not go there. It will bounce onto this and presumably fall down. And for this thing is quite snug in here and thick, so it will not bend. This is also quite thick. This is thick enough to be protective but not block the view. And we have, let me try and get it, this thing. Weld it all around, weld it, and you can use it to lift this thing, because it will most likely be really hot, so you need to lift it with this. Get it out of the way, do whatever you need to, then come with it and put it back in here. So I really like it. What I want to tell you from now, this is not going to be staying outside without a protection cover on it. I don't want water getting in there and pulling and making it rust. This will have a protection on it every second when it's not in use. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. Now let me check the manual and see how much I was wrong about that thing right in the middle. Daughter being hungry. Let's check the manual, and on the first page we have the first thing that I was wrong about. They call it a fireball, not a fire pit. Okay. But I hope that's the least thing I was wrong about, and from what I browsed through this, it seems that I was quite right about everything else. Congratulations on purchasing this item. Thank you very much. I really like it, so that's really good. If you want to read Okay, that's on you. This is what you get when you buy it. Everything outdoor use only, obvious, not for commercial use. Yeah, by adults you can should be used, and children should be kept and pets at a distance. Don't use petrol and other fluids or chemicals that increase the temperature rapidly. So basically you start a small fire and then increase it. Don't use things that make a huge flame from the start. Charcoal, untreated wood or dry logs. Do not use coal on it because it will create too big of a temperature, the coal. So charcoal, untreated wood or dry logs. Makes sense? Yeah, do not use it until you assemble it or whatever. Don't use it on flammable decking or flammable surfaces. Yes, makes sense. Always empty it and leave a thin layer of ash to protect the bottom. I didn't realize that, but it makes sense. If it's protected, the bottom will not rust easily. Don't touch it until it's cold. Yes. Don't move it when it's hot. Don't attempt to store it while it's not fully extinguished. It's said that such things need to be written down because people have just lost common sense these days. So yeah. Safety tool, heat resistant gloves, obviously. Don't let the fire unattended. Yeah. Hot embers may emit while in use. Yes, those little sparks that you can see while a flame is burning and daughter trying to push everything away. Don't overload it. So if you see a portion of it growing red, so it's starting to become red, it means you have overloaded it and it's overheating. Don't burn fuel directly onto the base of this thing. Use the log grate. I was right. That's the purpose of it. Keep the fuel away from the wall of this thing, so try to burn it more in the middle of it, which makes sense to not overheat this. And yes, makes sense as much as you can have the flame, have the fuel, the logs or whatever you are burning on top of that grate and not on the edge. Don't overload it. It's kind of that simple. Don't breathe the smoke. Yes. You inspect it before use. Yes. It might discolor it a little bit. Never mind. Stuff that's getting used gets signs of being used on it. Makes sense. So small fire, let it grow. Don't make sudden heat, because sudden heat can make this thing crack. Makes sense also. So yeah, this is it. So number 5, place it on a permanent flat level, heat resistant, non-flammable. Jesus, away from flammable items surface. Makes sense. Fireball that thing onto the body. Log grate into the fireball that thing. I was right. I'm so happy about it. Put grill on the fireball 4. Grill number 2 on fireball 4. Yes. Put mesh cover on the fireball. So actually it is intended to be used in this configuration. I wasn't expecting that. Honestly, I was thinking that you take number 2 away mostly. Although in my scenario, when I just sit around and watch a flame burn, I will not put number 2 in there. I don't want to just heat it for no particular good reason. When I grill something, number 2 will be in there for sure. So this is how you use it. Paper, dry kindling. Yep. Small amount of ash in the fireball bottom. Presumably it will also protect it from excessive heat. Okay. Heat slowly. Yes. Don't overload. 2 or 3 small logs sufficient. Yes. Safety tool to allow for additional airflow. I think that I was showing will be also used to move the logs around, which is quite cool. Double purpose. Stop adding fuel, allow the fire to die or douse with sand. So you can extinguish the fire with sand if you need to. Don't use water, quite important. That I didn't think about, but they write there, so we will not use it. Should be inspected, yes. Cleaned, yes. Don't use oven cleaner or abrasive cleaner. They will damage presumably the paint. Daughter bringing her teddy bear. Okay, cover the fire pit, yes. Help protect from bad weather. I saw a review, somebody was saying that it was destroyed after a winter. Why would they leave it outside for snow and water and whatnot to get into it all the time? Doesn't make sense. Cover it. Anyway, in a dry location to maximize product life. If you have a place where it's even protected from the elements when not in use, that's perfect. Still, the surface will age and develop rust. Makes sense and it's to be expected. It doesn't affect it, yes, to rust through that thick sheet metal that we saw for the ball, it takes a bit of time. Daughter not letting me do whatever I need to do. Okay, if you actually need to repaint it, remove with a wire brush the old paint, repaint with high temperature paint, at least resistant to 600 degrees, so they are expecting a good amount of heat to be created in this thing. Okay, rub the fire pit with an oily rag after each use. Yes, for me that's easy to do, and presumably I will do this just to prevent rust. Why not, if I can do it? And that's about it, honestly. For this we have some empty pages. Okay, for the moment we decided to not take this thing outside. We don't have a cover for it yet, so I don't want it sitting outside unprotected. It will go in a room that is not finished yet inside of this house, and stay there until we get a cover for it and when we want to use it, obviously. And just because you can see it in the living room, don't get any ideas. Do not use something like this indoors, no matter what. I just unboxed it here because I didn't want to stay outside in the rain, and it's night already, so there's that. So hopefully next time you see this thing, it will be with a bit of a flame in there, and maybe even making a grill. But for the moment, from everything that I see, this thing honestly is awesome. Forgot to tell you something. It's awesome with a bit of an annoying thing. This right here, I'm not going to keep it on it. Obviously, I've learned everything, and I'm not going to use any substances to create the fire, but the glue remains in here, a big part of it. So that's annoying. I will also remove this in case we ever need to refer back to the code. Here it is, and this info, here it is, and all of the info in here, here it is. Now we can remove the labels and recycle them because we have all the info on video. Blumfeldt, if anybody from you is watching this, the small labels are awesome. They come out without leaving any trace. The big one leaves glue residue and even took out a bit of the paint with it. So the big one, the warning, you might want to rethink it. Now I need to use some alcohol or something to remove it, and I hope I don't also remove some of the paint. A furniture wet wipe plus alcohol plus 10 minutes of my time plus a lot of elbow grease plus black marker for these two dots where the label managed to remove actually the paint, and it's done and 100% usable, no glue residues. And yeah, I from the bottom of my heart I hate stickers that leave glue residues on the product. The glue always needs to stick better to the sticker itself as opposed to the product that it's being put on. So yeah, there's that. 100% finished. Let's carry this to safety, and hopefully in sometime right next for you, there be fire in it. First time firing it up in a temporary location. Someday it will have its own place, but for now we will use it like this. All that remained at the moment, a slow burning fire, and I will let it die out slowly.
That's in my code.
This thing is being used for a few years already. Bought a cover for it, which is at the limit of what fits. I will add it in the description if you want this exact one. But yeah, overall this thing is holding up absolutely perfectly and no issues with it whatsoever. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye.